Hello, Gulls fans. Welcome back to another player interview as we're keeping you entertained while in quarantine. And pleasure to be joined by defenseman Brendan Guhle. Brendan, thanks a lot for joining us and give us the update of where you're at right now and who you're spending your quarantine time with.
Thanks for having me. I'm here at my mom's house right now with my brother and my mom. So we're kind of just grinding it out, and she's still working, which is good. And my brother and I are working out in the morning, and then we're just kind of hanging out from there on.
I see you turned your house into a little golf course there with that trick shot. How much did that take to get going there?
Um, Realistically, it took about 40 tries. We had like we had like 12 ping pong balls, so we just bring them all up there at once, and then just rapid fire, try and get it in. So it didn't take that long. We just had to make a couple of trips up and down the stairs, but um, yeah, it actually didn't take as long as I thought it would. So that was fun.
What all have you been doing during your free time right now? I'm sure it's probably a lot more free time than you're used to.
Yeah, been doing a lot of puzzles, a lot of sleeping, and a lot of TV shows. So that's it's pretty much how I've been spending my time.
Is there any TV show or any movie that you got addicted to during the quarantine that you might have not thought was going to be that good?
Well, no, the shows that I'm watching now are pretty much out already. I'm watching Westworld and Better Call Saul, so I'm keeping up with those. And then I also started The Sopranos, and I'm enjoying that one. So I hadn't seen that before, and I'm liking that one so far.
So, being a Edmonton native, this could be a really loaded question for you. If there was one NHL game that you could go back and watch, and maybe you have already, what game would that be?
Like anyone this season?
Yeah, well, anyone in history. So, like, if an Oilers won a cup back in the '80s, like, what game would
Oh,
that be? Gretzky performance. I'm really picking your brain here on this one.
okay, yeah, that's okay. Okay, um, I got it. Okay, so game. I think it was Game 5 in Stanley Cup Finals in 2006 when Fernando Pisani scored the shorthanded uh, overtime goal in Carolina to keep the Oilers alive. I was watching that game in the basement with my dad, and that was one of the most excited I've ever been during a hockey game. So we were freaking out in the basement. I was supposed to be sleeping, and my mom was not happy when she found out I was still up watching the game. I'm in the basement, so that was just a good memory as well. And the outcome of the game just made it even better. So probably I would like to do that again.
How big of an influence? Obviously, your brother was a big influence growing up together and playing together. But how big was your parents' influence in you in the sport of hockey?
You know, they never really played hockey, and they didn't know a whole lot about it. So they weren't too involved or too picky, and I kind of just found my own way. Like obviously, I had coaches and stuff I looked up to, but it was almost nice them not really knowing and not really having them up my up my back the whole time growing up. So they kind of were really supportive and just let me play and have fun. So they were supportive in that way.
Since you settled into the Anaheim organization here now for a full year finally, what's been your reactions to how the Ducks and how the Gulls have been for you over the past season so far?
It was a really hectic season for me personally. A lot of traveling and not necessarily knowing where I'm going to be at certain times, but it was a lot of fun. I never realized how fun playing in San Diego was in front of those fans in that building. That was awesome. So I love it there, and that's a lot of fun. And then obviously playing in Anaheim is a dream come true. It was one of my favorite teams growing up, and there's a lot of fun to play there this year as well. So it was a good year overall.
Yeah, boy, you kind of threw me into a two-part question here. First one is just the atmosphere here in San Diego and in Southern California in general. I mean, you're a Canadian, so I'm sure you heard, through the grapevine how it was and how it's been growing. But when you actually get here and experience it, what is that like, especially from a guy who's north of the border and you expect that type of atmosphere anyways?
Yeah, I mean, I playing in Rochester for a bit there. I never experienced an NHL crowd like that anywhere in any city. So that's really fun to be a part of, and that's really encouraging, and really, you guys really enjoy it. We all really enjoy that kind of support from the fans every night.
And you also said that the Ducks was one of your favorite teams growing up. How come?
They were just always good. They're always in the playoffs, and I'd watch them every year in the playoffs, and they had a ton of superstars, so they were fun to watch.
How have you liked being in Southern California? I'm sure your golf game probably improved a lot compared to being up in Rochester last year in Buffalo in years past.
Yeah, I honestly didn't really get out a ton this year. It was a busy year, and I barely even unpacked my clubs from my car, so we were just always on the go. So I went out to the driving range a few times, but I didn't play a ton, not as much as I would have liked, but hopefully next year maybe.
So your brother is ranked as the number 8 North American skater. I'm sure a little bit of you wants the Ducks to take a sharp look at him, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. He's I don't know exactly where the Ducks are going to pick yet, and I don't know where he's going to land. So I'm pretty excited for him. He's been in contact with a lot of teams recently, so should be exciting time for him. And I guess we don't even know when the draft's going to happen anymore, so he's got to wait a little bit longer, I think. But no, he's excited, and yeah, that would for sure be really cool if they ended up picking him.
Does that bring you back some memories from when you were going through that process 5 years ago?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of similar things. Like, he'll ask me questions about when someone asks him this, what does he think? And we kind of just talk about it and really bring back a lot of the memories. I think he's having a lot more phone calls than I did, but he's he's handling it pretty well.
How stressful is that? I mean, especially at such a young age, 18 years old. I mean, you got to be giving him a lot of good guidance because this is a very tumultuous time for such a young player.
Yeah, I mean, I want to give him guidance, but at the same time, I want him to create his own path, and I don't want to be controlling in any way. So if he asks me something, then I'll be happy to give him my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's his career and his path, and he can ultimately choose what he wants to do.
Being the older brother, were you pretty hard on him growing up? Not hockey in general, but just as an older bro?
Maybe a bit. I don't know. I would tease him every now and then, yeah. But I think he had it pretty good. I think I was pretty good, and obviously I left home when I was 16, so he would have only been 11, and so I missed a lot of that with him growing up. So we have a pretty good relationship just because of that. We didn't see each other a lot for a lot of years, so it's nice to be quarantined with him now.
What was the biggest influence for you and your brother? You talked about your parents not being involved in the game as much, but was there any, and it might be different because you guys were separated by about 5 years in age, but was there one person that affected both of you guys to get going in your career?
Well, our cousin, he played in the WHL for Regina. He was a goalie for a little bit, so I kind of looked up to him, and Kaiden kind of looked up to him, and then we both decided to kind of pursue hockey. Obviously, I did first, and then he followed. But I think that really kick-started it for me, seeing my cousin play in the WHL. I thought that was really cool, and that's something that I dreamed of doing. So I think that probably kick-started it for me.
I love doing some brotherly questions here, so I'm going to have to pin you against Tim, and I want some truthful answers out of you. Who is the better passer out of you two?
Oh, I don't know. I honestly don't know. We would have to have a competition. I don't know. I have no idea.
Who would win in a corner battle?
I don't know. I think I would probably win because I'm a little bit bigger, but he's pretty mean.
Hockey aside, what is one thing that you are clearly better at? Like, it could be cooking, video gaming, whatever.
I've actually just been teaching him how to cook. He has no idea how to cook. So over the last couple of weeks, I've taught him a few different recipes. So I'm definitely cooking. I'll take the cake.
What's your go-to on cooking?
I like making salmon, usually with asparagus or broccoli and rice or sweet potatoes.
Okay, so I'll flip the same thing. What is one thing that Kaiden is clearly better at than you?
Video games for sure.
Have you guys been playing a lot of video games lately?
I've kind of been getting back into it. I didn't play at all during the season. I didn't bring my Xbox anywhere, but I've been kind of getting back into it a little bit. So he still crushes me, but yeah, he's definitely got the upper hand there.
All right, who had more strict rules with your parents? Was it you or him?
Oh, definitely me. Definitely me.
You didn't even waste a beat with that one. Do you have an example that you could share?
Just like even now, like just little things like if I've done like the dishes for 5 days in a row, I'll ask my mom when's Kaiden gonna do the dishes, and she just gives me like, like, oh, kind of he doesn't have to do them kind of thing. He just loves them. I get the short end.
Oh boy, so I bet your quarantine's getting pretty interesting with you two, huh?
No, I don't mind it. No, it's all good. I don't mind it. He cooks eggs for me sometimes, so it's all right.
I was talking with Kiefer Sherwood a little bit because he's actually quarantined up in Ohio with his brother too. So we had some good brotherly love going on between those two guys. So kind of wrap this thing up here and we'll bring it full circle here. You actually have not had a chance to speak with the fans yet. So I'll just kind of give you the floor here and you can talk to the whole organization, Anaheim and San Diego fans, just giving them your best wishes.
All right, guys, we really want to get playing again, first of all, and we want to thank you for the continued support you guys have been doing. I don't know how many people are watching those Twitch games, but it's pretty funny to see the comments and the results under those. So we love the support, and we really want to get back playing in front of you guys and stay strong, stay safe, and stay healthy.
All right, Brendan, thanks a lot for your time. I really do appreciate it here, and stay safe yourself.
Thanks, Zilcher.